Hello and welcome to the next episode. This is our series which is all about this Lego room and of course my life. Now this one is just going to be chaos like it normally is. We've got quite a lot to get through with regards to getting a nice display done and adding a fresh coat of paint ready for our Hoth display in a future upload. But in the previous uploads we've managed to get this a really nice bright vibrant yellow, and we've also wrapped the blue all the way around the Winter Village, down the Harry Potter and the Rivendell. And with regards to the Winter Village, it is all been put back roughly in the last upload. It's probably about 80% there because this corner has just been thrown in for what is going to be happening in today's upload. We have got to get all of the base plates down for a Clone Wars display, and there's going to be a lot of measuring up with regards to stud counts and length of bits and pieces that aren't even out yet, and stuff that is available but I have yet to order. So it's going to be quite interesting. I do want to get some tiles down. I do want to get some bits and pieces in just so we can get a rough idea for scale, but I have got a good plan of attack with regards to a nice path and things like that. So there is method to the madness in this upload, and it's just going to daisy chain on upload after upload for a lot of the bits and pieces that are in this Lego room, and of course future displays that are also underneath the table. But the focus point today is getting paint on the wall and then trying to come up with a half decent space for a nice Clone Wars display. So with that being said, let's get to it. So the first thing I am going to do is obviously just get the paint on the wall, and then when that's drying we can then attack the Clone Wars display. Now there is a lot that I do need to do. So I did just mention that I need to measure some bits and pieces. We've got the Venator that's going to go across the back. I think that is like a base plate and a half when it's on its new stand out, and then from there I've got to zigzag a nice path with some tiles around, which would then give us pockets of how to display some different bits and pieces. Now there is obviously sets that have just been released in 2025, and we all know about the rumours that are going to be coming out later on in the year as well. So the plan is that when the path is down it will stay, but then I can rotate the displays around. So if I give myself a slightly bigger one, a slightly smaller one, and so on and so forth, we can kind of figure it out from there. That is the plan, because if you think of a normal theme park or the displays that you've seen before, 9 times out of 10, the path layout will stay the same, but they will just change bits and pieces, like for example in their mini-land. So that is what I want to be trying to do, and I am going to start eyeballing the best way of putting this new path in, with matching tiles, by the way, to the colour of the paintwork as well. So I have got a really nice bright yellow. We're going to put some grey base plates down and just attack it. But there's no point me doing that first and then painting, so I might as well get the first coat of paint on to give it as much opportunity as possible to dry, and then we can then obviously attack this display. Now don't forget, this is the wall we've had a lot of problems with, and it has, I think, dried now and it is okay. So don't forget, we had some bricks that blew out. So that one blew, a couple of the bricks at the top blew, as did the ones down at the bottom. And what I mean by that is the fascia of the brick came off and it was just brick dust absolutely everywhere. So we've had to repair some bits and pieces. So if you have been following this, then obviously you know what I mean. If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, just hit the last upload from the disaster series and you see exactly what we managed to achieve in that. So what I'm going to do now is get this very bright coloured paint on the wall, which is a very nice orange, so fingers crossed it'll be just as bright, as vibrant as that yellow, and then we'll be able to go from there. I know it's going to be a Hoth display in the future, and it makes sense. It could be white, but then you're not going to see any of the minifigures or anything that we're going to be displaying. And then if I actually take the AT-AT off, it will then just look like the paint, well, it looks like I haven't actually painted the wall. So that is why it's going to go in nice vibrant colour. And then we've got the green, the yellow, the orange and the blue on this side. And then we've got the nice Batman red over on the other. So I've got loads to try to achieve within this upload, and I'm going to do it as fast as I possibly can. So I'm now going to crack on and get the orange on, and I will catch back up with you when the first coat is drying. the first coat is on, and I don't think it looks too bad from a distance. It looks absolutely dreadful when you're close, hence why I'm stood a little bit further away. So it will probably need a minimum of one more coat, obviously, if not maybe two, which is a little bit of a shame. But fingers crossed it will dry okay, which is not horrendously cold up here at the moment. I just want to dab in a couple more different bits and pieces, so when the second coat goes on, it will dry the sort of the same orange. But I think you now get an understanding of the really nice bright orange with the bright yellow, and obviously we've got the blue on the one side and the green on the other. The white is for Hoth, because when you put the base plates on there, it just looks like it's more of a snowy bottom. If Hoth ever moved, for example, that would just get painted either orange or yellow, I guess. But for now, if we don't think that looks too silly when the base plates and everything goes on with the white, I think we can get away with that for now. So what I'm going to do is just dab some more little bits and pieces in. Then we've got to make some space for, well, all of this, and then I've got to pick up loads of different base plates off the floor. I think we're going to go for grey to start with. We've got enough. I think grey will be an all right colour, and then the yellow tiles should really pop against that. So we're not too far now from actually starting the Clone Wars display. So we're going to have to start off by getting all of those bits and pieces out the way. Now I've got to be really, really careful, because obviously this orange wall is soaking wet. It does look like it's dripping a bit as well, which is not exactly what I want it to do. I put it on so thin. It's really watery paint, this. So you can, I'll show you in a second, you can see what I mean about two colours that is going on. It is a deep orange, but you can see you've got the lighter colour just underneath, but you can basically see the white under. But yeah, I think it's going to be potentially 3 coats. And I don't want it to dry streaky and look like it's raining, which is not. This is not what I had planned for this segment. This is me now just going over the wall, making sure that it's all tickety-boo. This is probably not the way you're supposed to do it, but okay, it looks better. So what I was about to say is I've got to be very, very careful, because the yellow is also wet, which is great. So the yellow, can't touch anything against the yellow, so when the base plates go down, I've got to be very, very careful with that. And then, like I said, within this upload, we can have a bit of a good play with the Clone Wars display, as this is going to take, well, ages and ages and ages to dry. So let's trade places. That will go there. You're somewhere. You didn't see a single thing that I did, but I've done something, so it doesn't look as bad now. See that? All right, it looks dreadful, but it's better. It's better. And then obviously there is the yellow. Just a bit down there as well, not what we want. Amateur hour. I missed a bit behind the camera as well, it's embarrassing. Right, done. Happy days. Right, so that is up there. I've got the blue, that's going up there as well. I can actually get out of the way now. I've got the blue paintbrush behind me, the yellow brush is here, because I'm waiting to see if it needs another coat, but I really don't think it's going to, so that is good. Right, I've got to get rid of that without destroying everything, and we've got to get rid of these pieces as well. So that's duff, that is duff, so that needs to go. Bits of timber come in handy, so they can stay there for now. I'm using that to prop bits and pieces up. So as just said, the Winter Village stuff, we're good. If I want to expand that, I just have to put it in a different layout, or it'll have to be rehomed somewhere else. I went through near enough a whole pack of wipes to clean that wall off the other weekend, just to try and get that going. So I just hope when the base plates go down, it just makes a bit of a difference, really. Hopefully that'll be a nice thing. So I'm forever moving stuff forward and backwards, but the stuff that's going on here now is the stuff that's needed on here. Apart from the walker. Right, so base plate wise, I think we're going to go for grey. I think it's 3 and a bit deep, and then we're going to go all the way across basically to the yellow. So that is the plan. So we're going to have base plates going all the way across the back, obviously behind the white, and all the way to that bit. And I'm going to allow that space for the Venator. So that is taken because I'm sure it's a base plate and a half depth as he sticks out. Then it's very much a case of what we do in front. Now I can't do anything until I move this, and this is going to be a right pain in the backside, as you can see how watery it is. So I will get rid of that now. I'm going to dab in another bit I've missed just there, it's going to annoy me, and then yeah, we can just start putting the base plates down. The base plates have been found. Obviously the white is going to be used for Hoth, but I can just quickly use these for sizing, and then I have got some more grey if I need them where the Harry Potter bits and pieces are, because that can get pulled out, because that will be moving sooner rather than later. I think that might be the episode after next, depending on how the paint dries and everything else. So there is lots and lots of moving to happen. Right, so with regards to the grey, I know some of them aren't going to be fantastic because I've got old road designs and stuff on them, but they're we didn't see a single thing. I did not just hit, there we go, don't tell anybody. So we have got, oh, there is space for the track still. That's interesting. Okay, can I get, might as well show you what's going on. That might be more interesting for you. The lights are on, it's just very, very crummy. So I could bring the rest of this track up if required. So it is, the gap is wide enough. Now this, the first base plate that is, so we could finish the Winter Village off basically there, I think. And then it is a case of how many deep is this, because they should kiss up. Depends how I come off this wall, because the wall isn't straight and the boards have been cut to the wall, and yeah, it just makes everything awkward. So that's the gap that we've got, which clearly isn't right. So let's bring that all the way over, bring that over. So yeah, we're off by, of course we're off by a stud. Fantastic. So let me do that, and then that'll give us a better, and there we go. I'll figure the rest of the Winter Village stuff out. So that is 1, 2, 3 and an overhang. It's quite a big overhang. So I could have that as the, I could live with that as the display. That's all right, because it's not, we just won't put anything heavy on the ends. So we're looking 3 deep by, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not going to be 6, is it? No. 5.5, I think. So depending on, I just don't know, because realistically what I could potentially get away with is pushing this all the way up this way to there, and then that is all the base plates, and the rest of it is Winter Village. So I could just bring the Winter Village back ever so slightly, or just have something there. That is an awkward space. Yeah, not exactly ideal, but we are looking at 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 base plates is what we are looking at. So there's the grey. I don't think I've got 15 greys, to be honest. That's not exactly going to be ideal. I know I've got some more greys over there. think they've got 12. But the back run, I can just bring forward because the back run's taken with the stand. But I need to measure bits and pieces. So foam, what is the actual length of the Venator? We've got the other tape measure up here, we just got this one. I think we got this one, so this will do. So come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm sure I've got something stuck in my tooth. So it's 43 inches long, which is 109 centimeters. So if you want to do the maths, you're more than welcome to. 43 inches, it's a long, long, long thing. It's 1.10 m, isn't it? I think, something around that, near enough. This is the one that doesn't lock. This isn't ideal. So 43 is to where that, oh no it's not, it's lying. 43 is to there. We'll go by 110. 43. Right, I've actually got a bit more space than what I thought I had to play with, which is great. Because where that minifigure is, looking all sorry for himself, from here all the way to the wall is the length of that ship. So I could bring it in, obviously, half a base plate maybe from the wall, and it could finish around there. And then I could potentially give that a full white base plate, and then that's where the nose finishes, and then the track's just in between. Because if I was to do that with this, for example, I would then add in their curves, 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 curves. I had some straight before. Can I find it? Of course I can't. Can I find anything? Never. Because I can bring this basically to here, and then that's where that would stop, and then there'd just be something behind it winter village related, and then I guess the best thing to do would be to turn this round and open that up so we can have a bit of a play. But until it's actually in, we're not going to know what looks best, I don't think. But we have got wiggle room, so that's good. So we've got a little bit of wiggle room, so that is not too bad whatsoever. It's now just going to be a case of getting the rest of the base plates down, and then figuring out exactly what units and things are going to go there. So I'm going to get the rest of the base plates from Harry Potter, because they're not needed over there at the moment. That's going to be really awkward. So I build something in the corner, raise it up and it's above. We could have some ships or something dangling from that bit. So I don't think it's going to work if the rest of that was a winter. I think it's just a nice cut-off point that I brought the track back a little bit further forward, and it's just like that. So for the sake of photos and things, we could just have something else, there. But it's, like I said, it's one of those until we start actually figuring all the bits and pieces out. And of course I've got to get all these tiles off and rip. Oh, it's just going to hurt. It's just going to hurt. I knew this was going to be a long bit, so we can figure it out. Now over on this side we have got 5 more of the base plates that are required. 5. There's a much older, dirtier one, so that can just be used for now. So 6. Won't be far off. Won't be far off. Right, okay, so I definitely need to order some more bits and pieces. But there's a reason why I'm taking all of this off from here, so it's going to be fun, to say the least. Going to be very, very interesting. Come on, good. Right, there's one. It's a ceiling, so there's one. Now I've got to get that back, which is the little Harry Potter house. I've got to move this over, and then that would give us, that's 3 on the floor, 4, 5, 6. Get that back over. So, yeah, right, 6 of those. There's another white base plate on the floor. So 6 of them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That will leave 2 at the front. Okay. So where we are at with this, can I actually get you up here and tip you over? Or are you going to fall? You are 100% going to fall off. Can I weigh you down with something, or is this just getting silly? I don't know. Can you see? Somebody let me know if you can see. If that falls off, that is going to smash. Let's hope that doesn't fall off. So, just move that. Yeah, you can. So the white bit here, and then we've got the rest of the base plates. So that's annoying. Why are they staggered? What is going on with this? Why are they all off? Oh, I'm not for the second run. Will we clear the? I don't know. That's going to get interesting quickly. I don't actually know for the second run where it's going to end up, because at the moment I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 studs overlapping, and I don't know. I've got 7 studs on the other side. Otherwise, there's going to be a gap over there. So we're going to be 5 at the front. I'm confusing myself now. Alright, get that walker out of the way. I'll be damaging that. You can go to the front for now. We've got 1. No. Oh, it does. Okay, hang on. That's interesting. So, as we can, I don't know if you can or can't see, so we are really overlapped, but it's in, will be in, if that was a bit more straight. So we are, nothing is straight. It must be this bit of wood over there that isn't. I can fix that, I think, but it does mean a bit of DIY, which I don't particularly want to try and mess around with, to be quite honest. But we are, when that goes in flush, we're going to have that problem on the next run, and I think we have a bit of a problem with that as well. So that was there, that was there, that's how that looks, so it's not overhanging too badly, so that's okay. So we are, how many are we over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the front, 7 at the back. So you've got a row of 6, 6, 7. Or are we 6, 6, 6? And the back rows just off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, 7. No, we're not. Oh, what an idiot. Because we put the white one there, haven't we? Come on, come on. I need to get my head into this. So on show at the moment, we've got row of 6 grey with a little bit of white. So if I was to, yeah, well, we've got to figure out that base plate basically. That's what we need, is this one here we need to figure out. So I'll move that so it's not confusing me. So we've got 6, 6, 6. Now I can't get all 6 of them in a perfectly straight line because the brickwork is in the way and we've got a problem with the wall. So we could have them straight on the one side, or we could have them staggered either end, which to be fair I don't think it doesn't matter too much, because we'll have a stagger past that green and then we've got a stagger there, but there's absolutely nothing I can do with that. But we've got 18 base plates of space for this display, and I need to come up with some sort of path. Now I could just go in a straight line, which might be a little bit boring, but I could just go down the middle and sort of snake it into the winter village. So we're over this way a little bit more, and then we come over, or we keep it straight. But the things I've got to think of before I even put the path in is the other little bits and pieces that are needed. I'm just thinking now, the wingspan of this massive thing here, this thing is so, as you can see, it's basically 3 base plates wingspan. It's always been a nightmare, but it does look very, very good, and we're going to have all these minifigures coming shooting out of it and doing whatever. But if the back 6 were pushed all the way over, so that was grey, and then this corner had the wings sticking out from the brickwork, can I tuck the wing behind the veneer? And then we've got 6 base plates for that huge thing. I think that should work. I think. And it is... No, I think I've just done it. Oh, I have, yeah. I've just pushed that bit round. So that bit of timber's now fine. I thought that was actually going to be DIY work, but it's not. It's whatever I've done. As long as I've not broken it, it should be okay. So I put that one in there, and I can't remember how. To be honest, I can't remember how I did that. Right, so we're starting off with this monstrosity, and it's going to need a good toothbrush and a clean, which is what I will be doing in this upload as well. So there we go. And then I'll just vacuum all the bits and pieces up off the floor after, because of course, even in the last couple of uploads with trying to keep all these bits and pieces covered, the brick dust gets everywhere, doesn't it? Which is not what we want, but it is a nice looking thing. So we've even got, I was about to say, we've got its gun coming out of its backside, and I just ripped it clean out, so that's nice and painful. Hope I can push that back in, no problem. Oh no. There we go. Right, good, back in. Magic. Magic, magic, magic. So, this is the huge thing. This is where it gets difficult, because I don't have a full idea of everything, and some of these bits have fallen off, and we don't want that. I know the angle that this is going to sit. It's going to come off the wall, and we should be good. But it's just what the next one does. That's going to stay there. thing over there by the green, that is going to stay there because I think that's just a nice backdrop for the theme park. I just don't know what else can go there. Something Star Wars related might be able to go there, but as it stands right now, that'll just have to stay there. And if it has to come out, then we're going to be in trouble because all this is going to have to move. So that is not gone well because we need, actually, we'll carry on messing around with the back of the, right, that's that moved, good. So if I move all these base plates over and we actually use the grey space to our advantage now, can I get the wing in that gap? I don't think I can twist it around that much. I can have it facing forward and it would go in, but I just don't know if that's going to look right. This is the issue because I had the image, envision, should I say, of it coming off at the angle-ish, like that. But that isn't going to work for any form of display. Now, the reason for that is if the big thing is a base plate and a half, we can't have any troopers here, so that isn't going to work at all. So this is going to have to spin. The only thing I can think of is putting it nose in. I think that's going to be the only way I could get away with it. If it's spun round, and the nose went in it, don't really like it that way. It works. Doesn't work for space because the wing now is going to be hit by that sort of display, which is again is not exactly ideal. Always a headache with this, but we are going to stick at it. So there is a stand that this thing can go on. I prefer it actually looking flush on the floor. I think it might look a little bit better with the clones and stuff around it. He says. I might change my mind, but yeah, this is going to be a bit tricky. Now, of course, this could go where that thing is, and it wouldn't have a problem whatsoever, because I think the wingspan would overhang, and it could just be parked there, and it could just be a big thing at the back. But we like how that looks. We've always liked how that looks with it, and that's quite a big thing. So to try and find the space for that, I don't think we're going to be able to. So the coffee, yeah, the coffee shop is going to be interesting, but kind of for me it'd be quite cool to keep that there, because that came out of the actual Star Wars shop at Legoland Windsor. Where the Star Wars shop used to be. So it's a bit of an Easter egg and a reminder to myself, to be honest. But at the same time, that's it. That's all we can do. We've got too much wasted space, though. There's too much wasted space there, because that wing is obviously a pain in the backside, which is going to hit that. We're pretty much touching the wall on the back, and even if we brought this all the way up and the nose of the other thing was over there, we don't particularly want to lose a base plate and a good chunk on the back end, really, do we? How can this be so difficult? How can this be such a pain? Right, I think what I'll do is I'm going to put the balls back on because it's missing its knobbly bits off the front. So I want to give it full true length. There's another one of these somewhere. And then we know exactly what size we've got to play with. Right, all of its balls have been reattached, all 4 of them, 2 pairs of plums. So we have got obviously these, and we've got the bits at the front as well. Now this is it side on, obviously. And we have a problem because it can't fit side on, like I said before, because it's well over what the next one is going to be. And I did just spin it round at a half decent angle, so I had it like, I think it was like that, but over as far as it would go. And the problem is with doing that is it would then, it just swallows the unit behind it. So if I brought that all the way over like that, which is absolutely fine for everything, it's now not in the way because of how that's going to work. It's, well, it's eating the front. So I don't know, to be honest. I don't know the best way of putting this in. I know I've spent far too long on this one. I know what I'm going to do with the path. I'm just going to have it a couple of studs wide, yellow with the grey, and it is literally just going to go in a straight line, and it's going to come down here, and it's going to start or finish into this bit, because thinking about it, I can't actually make too many weird and wonderful patterns because of the ship behind. The ship behind has to be straight, and obviously you're going to have the path going all the way in front of the ship. Now obviously what we can then do is come off down the sides of a display, and obviously then make the displays that way rather than zigzag, so we can sort of grid it. So we could potentially do that a little bit, which might be a little bit easier. But we've got things like this. So obviously we've got the water, which is 1 bag away from being completed, and this thing's not exactly small. This is a base plate. So in case you didn't realise, it takes a whole base plate up, no problems. That's it, swallowed and gone. So again, if say for example we brought the path down this way and it came over and we had another base plate here, we'd have another bit of path there, and we could have something just in front of it, and we could have a little battle going on just there. That's an easy thing. So that can just be finished, and that can obviously then just be angled to whatever angle we want to put it. Probably, well, that's the back end, isn't it? So if we had it with the guns facing forwards, which are obviously all of these little bits just here, I think they would go in. But it's just big. It is just big. That'll work. So we had that, and we probably had like a path coming behind it, and we had a little bit of a display here, and then we're going to have to try and get the other bits and pieces in. So we don't want it to be, there needs to be enough space basically to see a lot of the bits and pieces. Now there is supposedly the Clone Wars ship coming as well, Janga's ship, which stands up. So that's a base plate. So that base plate's gone. Yeah, it's just a little bit on the awkward side, but I can visualize how the path and things are going to work. But even with all of this space for all of these base plates, now I've got it on this table, because there's a base plate and a half gone, we really don't have that much diorama room. I know it's going to be a lot of minifigures and all that kind of thing. We've got all the different clones and everything to add, so that's absolutely fine. And of course we've got a couple of other ships and things to do, depending on where we think the right ones should be. But yeah, we've got plenty of droids, we've got plenty of other little bits and pieces like that. Underneath here I've got loads of battle packs for this, basically. They're not going to take up a huge amount of space, but we could have them go fighting either side of the path. That's not going to be too much of a problem. I'm probably going to think it's going to be 6 studs wide. I think we're going to need to make this this path with barriers and things. I think that makes sort of sense, because it'd be wide enough just for two minifigures, and I think that's what we're going to have to try and achieve. But it's going to be, if I just did it in a straight line to start with and came round, and then I think off that we can make the displays, bring the paths down into like a grid, like into a kind of like grid type system. And just remember that we've lost about a base plate and a half from the wall. I will double check that actually and just make sure that it is actually a base plate and a half from the back. I told you it's going to be all sorts of measuring in this one. It's because it's I can't go off the website because it's the wrong. It's 22 inches wide, this thing. Now, to put it into perspective, in case you didn't actually realise, a base plate is 10 inches. So on its stand, you actually save space than what it is laid down. But I know, of course, that on the stand and it laid down, it's only where the main wingspan is. Now, if it's going to be on its stand and it's going this way, the nose will have to go behind that. I think we can step, I'm sure we should be able to step that and it should miss that. Because how that gunship is now is absolutely fine. I just don't know if the thing behind it is any good. Because if it's not any good, something else is going to have to go there, and I have absolutely no idea what else will go. But it's a coffee shop, so you can see the main structure. It's just you can't see Unchained Coffee on the front. I think that's the only thing. I think it'll grow me. I think that'll be okay. So we'll go back to, they've got it as depth of 43. So we'll just go by base plates. That'd be the easiest thing to go by. You can come with me. So we don't start here. So this bit here is a little bit of space, and basically this bit here then can be used for a display. So that's great. So 43, that's one. That's one. That one there is 2. That is 3. That is 4. And then it's a couple of studs into this one is where it'll finish. So we've then got a bit of leeway and gap. So we could obviously extend the path and bring that around. But that's why I think maybe we just go as a straight line and then we make it more of a wiggly shape after. It's not what I intended, but I don't think we've got that much of a choice. Now, I think what I will do is I will go underneath here and grab the different battle packs that I have got, and you can see what is what, because I have got 2 of these, which is fantastic. So that is good, so we can get them in. We have got some of these, so there's another one with the gun on there. So there's plenty of minifigures for this display. So that's not a problem. It's just this ship has been throwing me off. Still underneath the table. That's half. We've got 501st Clone Troopers, but that is Mando, so we can't use that. We've got Obi-Wan, we've got the Starfighter, which obviously is no good for this display, I don't think. Even though that is the picture of him going to where the clones are. So could we do a bit of a hybrid? Because if this is where all of our main clones are going to go, this one could be potentially dangling down. And then we could have Anakin's ship. For Anakin's, I want it crashed. I don't know if you could, I've just stuck my arm up and I don't actually know if you could see. So, sorry, we've got 2 of those. one of them, forgot you were on the shelf, not the table. Not too sure if we can use that, but I think we might be able to get away with it if we just put this with Anakin's ship as well. I want Anakin's ship on fire because he always crashes that ship or her ship, Ahsoka's ship, in the Clone Wars all the time. So I thought that would be quite funny. It just buried. And then there's one more down here, which is again more 501sts. And we have got the Clone Legion for those. So we can have a bit of a battle going on with the 501sts, and that's there's 501sts, there's more 501sts, so there's 2 of those, and we've got 2 of those. It's going to be basically 2v2 plus the ATT. Then there's supposed to be more battle packs coming this year and some more ships as well, isn't there? So this could be dangling somewhere, I think. For now, that can go back. That can go back down. Now, these are in a sale currently. So if I need some more troopers, we'll need some of these, and maybe, I guess the best thing to do is actually make them up and just see how much space it takes up. I think that's going to be the key. And just working out where a base plate and a half is on the stand, so that way I can start tiling the bits and pieces and it doesn't get ruined. Now I did bring the stand up. It just looks better on the ground because we can have. We've got all the orange clones from the ATTE. They're in with that. They're actually on. I actually put them all on a base plate, neat and tidy, and that base plate went into a box with all of the other minifigures on. So when I can find all of those, we'll have that army as well. That's going to be the only thing that's going to bug me because they're not easily accessible, which is a slight pain in the backside. But we have got all of these to basically try and build. But I don't know whether to put the path down first, which I think I might have to commit to, and then work out the sizing of basically what's left. Right, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go that first. And what I can do is I can use this yellow. I'm going to have to use the darker. Am I going to have to use the darker grey? 2, 3, 4. I was going to go 6 wide. I've got to think of what pattern I'm going to do as well, because this will go to a time lapse because this is going to take forever. But I've got all of these smaller pieces as well, which I basically did that pattern with for the roads. So I've got a tub, I've got quite a few of those left. And I think somewhere I've got the lighter 1x2 greys. I'm definitely going to have to order more. But I've got the darker 1x2s. But I've also got 2x2s in darker grey as well. Because I did make up the New York roads that way. So I could basically pull the New York road up because there's some massive changes coming up, and put them down so we've got 6 base plates wide, and I just need some yellow bits for like the hoppers for them to stand on, or just like individual studs or something like that, and then we can go from there. But I just don't know how easy these are going to be to get off this base plate, because obviously with the tiles they're not the easiest thing. Right, so if we're going to go 6 wide and we're going to come in, are we coming in the middle there? Or does it need to be wider than that? Does it need to be 8 studs wide? Does it need to be 2 yellow or not? Let's get a couple. That was like that was like that, and that was like that, what do we think looks better? Do we go for an individual line with the darker ones and then something around it, or do we go too wide? Too wide kind of shows that it's more of a path, but it's 8 studs rather than 6. I could bring it back down to 6 studs, but I'm going to have to do 1x2s. So what I will have to do, and again I'm going to have to order a lot of these, is swap that for that, that for that, and that is our footpath. Right, I'm gonna have a, I was about to say I was gonna have a bit of a play off camera, but let's just throw these together like that and just actually work out what is better. Do we prefer that, or do we prefer that? Which one looks better on a path? That's really difficult. I should do a poll really, but however we do this will be like it for all of the others. I think that looks quite nice, but we can make it damaged if we did the 1x2s, because what else I can do is I can then use these little bits as well and just start doing different bits with it. Look, where I won't have that opportunity with the 2x2, so I can start doing just things like that, just to maybe split it up a little bit. The only thing is, doing it extra wide, it's going to be a lot more tiles. No, it's not. It's exactly the same. You can get more the 1x2s. You can get more 1x2s in a pab cup. Definitely gonna have to order some more yellow though. That is for sure. I will think. I think going for a bit of a broken up pattern with those bits in and just some other little bits and pieces in, I think would work for what it actually is, because obviously the texture and everything would look quite nice. It's just going to be a lot of it, but yeah, we'll come out, up and across. I just don't know whether to bring the path close to the UCS set and then behind it we've got another display. I think that might be, well, that's going to have to be the best thing to do. And then as it forks off, we'll go the other way. Like I said, it's really difficult to do this with doing it blind, and I've got a bad feeling I'm going to end up ripping some of these tiles up and doing it again. But those packs, they would go in the back there absolutely no problem. Because we said it's 4 and a bit, didn't we? So 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. So yeah, that is all space for whatever. So the path could then, we could make a display at the back and it'd be a proper look display, and we can see what's what. Right, like I said, head's hurting already, but we will see what we can do. Right, I've had a bit of a think and a bit of a play, and I've added on a few more, and I think that one actually looks cleaner than that one. I don't know why, even though it's the exact same amount of studs, it's 6 and 6, but I think this one is what we're going to go for. And just basically I'm going to have to get quite a lot of 2x2 dark greys and just basically add as many yellows on as possible. There's a lot of ums in this video, isn't there? And then it's figuring out what will go where. I for some reason, I quite like the idea, it's probably not a good idea, but I quite like the idea of having these battle packs at the back, depending on how tall they are, because there'll just be a lot of stuff going on behind the engines of something that's big, and it'd just be obviously quite nice to, as you would look through a walkthrough, have something smaller than something really, really long, and then it comes back to the front, because I don't think Jango Fett's ship will work at the back, even though it kind of makes sense there. It's just that if we put everything that's big in the far corner, it's going to look very, very, very busy. And then what I can do is I can bring the ATT walker closer to the dropship, and then we could have the other coloured clones coming out of it, because this is the box. So there should be quite a few figures with this, because you've got Cody. So obviously we're doing Cody orange up at the top, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of 5, sorry, of the clones, and then you've got 3 battle droids, and then you've got the other little bits and pieces. So when they're all stuck to a base plate, a grey, I think it might be a grey base plate actually. No, that's annoying. But they'll be in, because we've moved everything so many times, they'll be in a box now. So that'll just have to be a go-to thing, and obviously I'll get that finished. But that could come off the front, so I think that would work as another display off. So for example, that is, it'll probably have to be over here. If that is walking off from there, and then yeah, you know what I'm trying to get at. I don't know whether to make the dropship as just a display or just have a load of minifigures around it. I think I'm going to need more minifigs as well. I think and it's just going to just mangle up all of the different ones, because we're going to have a couple of different things going on. I could get some more 5, I just don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm waffling now. But I've got the pattern. I know what pattern I want to do. I will have a play, but I think even as a time lapse, this is going to take me forever. So I'm going to put you up on a the roller coaster, and I'll basically figure out what way to go. And before, so I put you to a time lapse, I'll work out exactly how deep this ship is, and then basically have a play and figure it out from there. But once this is done, I think this might be quite eye-catching on camera, he says, and I like the fact that we're going to have an orange path for the, sorry, a yellow path for the yellow wall. Hoth is going to be obviously all white with the orange path going through. And to be honest, I don't think it's going to need the grey tiling. I might need some grey tiling around the outside just to divide it up a little bit. I don't really know. Don't think that would work if it was just yellow. I think it needs just a slightly different colour, and then all of this is where the minifigures and everything can stand. And am I just being a little bit too silly with all grey? Because obviously that battle isn't on grey, it's on like a sandy colour that I don't have. That's on green, they're on grass, and they're on, I haven't got a clue. That looks like blue to me. Can't really put blue on blue. I think that would look lost. But obviously the clones themselves are made up on water. So I could potentially have a couple of base plates as water. I guess that was a huge battle in the Clone Wars where they came in, but I think I'm just trying to overthink this. Let's just make some nice little dioramas, get the yellow in. and figure out what back to base plates I should put in colour-wise when we get there. Right, there's been a lot of measuring done off camera, and I might as well just struggle with you on camera. So I am trying to figure out exactly how far the path needs to be away from the actual thing itself, because obviously you don't want it to be too close. Now I'm thinking that that is actually going to be the footpath in yellow, and then we can have a grey and a grey, because if I get the dimensions up here now, so I'm looking at just Wicked Bricks stand. I think some of them, they're there or thereabouts all the same, but the depth on this one is 35 centimetres. So if I get to 35 going the wrong way, so 35 is that. So it is a full base plate plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 studs. So we come back in the other way and do 11 studs from here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 studs. So that is where it is going to end. But let me just put that into, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll say 12, so we'll go from there. So that is where it's going to end. So that is going to end there, and that's the all the way through. Now the stand itself isn't that, it's not the full thing. The stand itself is only going to be like the bit in the middle, so I could potentially zigzag it. I just don't know if this is a stupid idea, me trying to actually put this down before the stand is here, because if the stand was here, then we would actually have an understanding of, well, the size of the base, because it's then raised up from it. I don't know, because I don't particularly, I can't see anything else going underneath it. I think it's just because it's at such an angle. But if you were walking here, that's why we put a grey 2x2 there, and obviously 2x2 there, and that's where you were walking, and that's where it finished. There's a little bit of wiggle room there. Yeah, because I was going to give myself 8 studs, to be honest. I think I've measured that wrong, which is not exactly ideal, but that's what I was going to do. Is I was going to give myself 8 studs away from the stand as it went around. So I'll re-measure. I found another grey base plate as well, by the way, so we're finding them as we go, and I found a load more grey 2x2s and some more yellow 2x2s as well. So I will re-measure that. You can see the headache that I'm having because I've definitely done that wrong. But yeah, it's about a base plate and a half. So if I give myself 8 studs off from 13 bricks, it would be, because that is brick 13, isn't it? So a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's grey. 1, 2. That's yellow. So then we've got this depth for another display on the other side. So I don't want to ruin all of that. So that's what we'll go by. I'll double check that bit. And then you'll go to a time lapse, and then we'll just basically crack on. Right, I'm not going to lie, this actually really is starting to hurt my fingers at the moment, but we are getting somewhere. So I'll put you up a little bit higher. I'm not too sure if you could see much of that. No, so I'm taking them off the one base plate and then smashing them straight down on the necks. Now what I am going to do is, obviously this is where the path is going to split, so that's why I'm starting to speak to you, because depending on what the balls does, so there's huge ball ship just here, if it stays exactly as it is and it fits absolutely fine, which is the plan of it, then obviously when the next base plate goes down here, which will be potentially this one, I will bring the yellow to here and it will stop, and then the yellow will go left obviously to here and potentially stop, and then might go to the edge of the grey so it can actually then see that whole display in the corner. So that will then take us up to the back two base plates that way, and then it would bring us back down this way. And then what that actually then allows is we've got these three bits, three and a bit base plates for basically display space. Now I know for a fact that people are thinking, well, you've only added in one of those. I will add in a lot more. I just need to figure out, once I've done a few of the shelves, exactly how many I think I need, and then I can easily just take the one up and then put it down. I can get them either in yellow or dark grey, and then obviously we can stand the minifigures on there. Now obviously I've got these things, and I've got them in a lot of different colours for Tatooine. Is something that I have used before, but they're a right nightmare to get back up and down. Now I don't know if you noticed in what we've done so far with regards to the actual speed bit, but the minifigures that came out, all these different bags of minifigures, the helmets and of the clones are in here. So some of the clones from that is in here, and I've got other bits and pieces. And to be honest, I had no idea these minifigures are here, but obviously I have got Commander Cody. I'm looking at him right now. So Cody is safe and sound. I think that's Commander Cody. There's somebody in there anyway. It might not be. It might just be a normal clone. But there's might be a few orange ones in there. So what they're doing in there, I don't know. But we will just get this bit in, and then I'll see. Well, take a step back, and hopefully it will look all right. Because I'm surprised that the yellow's gone as far. To be honest, I've got some more yellow in the bag. I'm definitely going to need a load of these 2x2 dark grey tiles. But then for Hoth, I don't know what colour to do it with, because it's definitely going to go orange in the middle. Would kind of make sense, because that's going to be a bit of a weird display. Well, it's not so much as a weird display, but a weird path, because it's just going to be in a straight line underneath everything, and then I'm just going to build it all around, because I'm just going to need the space basically. So it might be a case of the footpath does something like this, where all of a sudden it's just empty studs. So then it goes to 2 wide, and it goes 4 wide, 2 wide, 6 wide, and it just breaks it up a little bit that way, because I might have to. But ideally, I can just put the base plates down, go across in a straight line with all the orange 2x2 tiles, because obviously it will go. The plan is it goes between the AT-AT's legs, and then all the other little dioramas around it. Well, it should be. I've only got a base plate depth, so it's not going to be the easiest thing to do, but I just don't know if I just should have the orange and I actually utilise the space a little bit better for 4 studs or whatnot. But I'm thinking out loud now for when I do it much later on when the paint has dried. So we're about to go left, which is what we are doing just now. I'll get you over there, so do that. You can kind of see where we're at now. But now I don't know whether to come down with the yellow as well, because what I can do is we can come down this way, so you can see exactly what is going on. And yes, again, I am still taking these dark grey ones off. Yeah, because if we go that way, and obviously they will go that way as well. Now we are, if you saw me counting as well, by the way, it's because I've left half a base plate with the tiles for the display the other way. So it's basically, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you've got 8 studs, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then I came in half a base plate from the beginning. So it allows then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 studs on the one side, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 with the path. And then you've got then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So obviously 2 lots of 16 is 32, and that's exactly what this is. So on this side, we can just have a smaller display here. And I know that this is half a base plate in depth. See? Just straight up, and we've got half a base plate there plus a little bit, so it's just handy to know. So I'm trying to make it more easier for myself, which is never normally what I try and do. But I think if we just come down here and stop with the yellow, or I might just add maybe one more yellow one just to make sure. Because like I said, I'm not too sure how much that's going to swing round, because I don't know how many more. If I've got any, basically, I don't know if I've got any more yellows on another tile. So if I don't, it's going to be very, very tight to get the rest of the yellow down. So I want to be a little bit wary, but I can do that. And I'm just going to start taking, well, I say taking them off, I'm just going to go the opposite way. And then we will get nice and close to the edge, because I think that would work, because it can just look at 2 base plates of display, and then we can have all the minifigures there potentially. I don't know if the ATTE could go there. I've been thinking about this. Do I put something slightly bigger but nothing huge at the back, and I have the battle at the front over these 3 and a bit base plates? Or, because obviously I said what we can do is break the path up and obviously kick it off different directions, basically like what we're doing now. That's not going to be a problem whatsoever. It would just be quite interesting to see which way we're going to go, and hopefully we'll be all right. But I say that, but until those are down, and I've got them built and I know how big they are, but it is just quite handy to know that we've got 2 base plates of diorama to play with. We've got 3 and a bit base plates of diorama, or of course I can split the dioramas up straight down the middle, and then we could have a base plate and a half and 2 base plates of a diorama, which could be a good option, because it just stops me making, well, it's not so much making massive displays, but I just don't want them to look lost, especially if some of them are a little bit smaller. Now the other reason why I said about putting the minifigures in this back corner is obviously I can dangle the ships off the wooden shelf, whereas I haven't really got the ability to, for the newer clone stuff, I haven't got the ability to do that. So yeah, it's just thinking, would that work like that or not? This path, I'm glad I actually went for this one, because it's a lot quicker. If I was having to do it with that funny pattern, I think it would have looked all right, but good grief, it would have been painful. So I think here we go in a straight line, and you just see the 2 base plates. I think that might be a good option to do. But it is also a case of what goes in this corner with some of the little bits and pieces to come. And also, oh yeah, I just don't know where I've got the little bit in the on the queue line beside the winter village. That is going to be potentially an awkward space, because we could have all the... maybe. Might be able to get something in there. I've got the clone transporter. Transporter, what was it? It was the giveaway that came with something. The troop carrier. So I've got the Trade Federation troop carrier, which we could have on display maybe in that bit, because that might fit there. And they could be going off to whatever, but yeah, I'm not sold, not sure. I just hope I've given myself enough space either side for smaller displays, minifigure displays and bigger displays. So you know what I'm doing now? You're going to go back. Well, I don't even think you need to go to a time lapse, to be honest, because I am just going to go straight up, kick it round. I'm probably boring the pants off you doing this, but until I watch it back, because I've never done it on camera before, I'm not 100% sure. That really is getting sore now. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got enough to go that way. So the other plan that I had, I'm surprised how many 2x2s I've got. I must have ordered loads and loads of those. Definitely gonna have to order a lot more though. A lot more. Hopefully they might have them in the pab shop, but I doubt it highly because it's me. I have... Right, so of course the battery died. So I think what I was saying is that's the amount of yellow that I've got left. And now I need to think of what I'm going to do with dividing this section up. Because we've got, like I've said, 3.5 base plates at the front. And after saying it out loud about bringing the path all the way down, that might be a perfect opportunity to have a 2 base plate diorama with obviously the extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 studs. So it's a base plate and 8 studs for 2. Bring the path straight down the middle of the double, so it gives us then a full base plate and a half plus the 8 studs for another display. But I now think it might be best putting the ATT at the back. And then if I am going to change any of the colours, we could change the colours at the front. Because that way the path is only on the grey, and obviously that looks fine. But if we are going to do different dioramas for this sort of thing, potentially I could just put 2 tan base plates down at the front. And then we have the battle with the minifigures on there with all of the 501sts and all that kind of things. I was saying about these being on tan kind of thing, so potentially we could have 2 tan at the front. Then I don't know whether to have maybe a single water one at the front as well, where the Jenga Fett can stay. And then where the Jenga Fett is on here, because that would be blue base plate. If the Jenga, I'm saying it's Jenga, I really hope it is. I don't keep saying Jenga, Jongo. It's the father of boba, isn't it? So it's the blue version of that in the UCS that is coming out. So if I had this, for example, here, because the second you start adding colours in, I don't know if it's going to look silly. If that was blue and it was there and I put water around it, or because I can't change this to blue. I can't go half and half because it won't look right. But if I had that, you kind of see what I mean with regards to, you got your walkway and then we've got this extra display space in front. And the blue does look quite nice wrapped around all of the different grey. So potentially we could just have the one ship on blue, bit of diorama around it, different diorama around here, because potentially it could just be the minifigures battling each other. And then do we have these two pulled out as a different colour? Do we go all water at the front just to be different? Do we put three water base plates down at the front, and that is just a huge battle like we have, because it is a big thing in the water. And I know they fight quite a lot on tan as well, but because this ship is so big, the ship itself, it only ever lands really once. So I think the ship over grey would look better, and then the big chunky thing over grey would look okay. But if the ATT went at the back, we either just have that grey, so it's all grey across the back, and we bring a bit of colour to the front, or we put a bit of colour down at the back just to split it up, because obviously you're going through a walk-through attraction and you kind of need the different colour base plates to split it up a little bit as well. So I am a bit stuck on the colours, but if we just stick to the ATT going at the back, these three at the front won't have anything on it because I won't split the path up tonight. I will wait until I have built up the battle packs and see what they look like. But we could, I just don't know if it would look too messy with the two colour, with it like that. But until it's down and we have a look at it, we don't know. And annoyingly, I don't have tan. I've got loads of white. I've got another blue here. I actually will have another spare blue over there as well. So if, for example, we just went 2.5 for a display, like so, that's what that would look like up at the front. You wouldn't necessarily have to have anything on here whatsoever. The display would be here, and then you would have a different display facing the path that way, different display facing that way, or we could just have, like I said, minifigures and bits and pieces on there. Does it look better with a little bit of colour there as well, just to split it all up? Personally, I think it does. And I know that this is a big thing, but the problem is that the flipping troopers that we've got are blue. So if I was to create a bit of a sort of diorama-y fight thing at the front with all those minifigures, which I think is probably the best way to go, I just don't know if it would look right on blue with all of these, because it would just look like it's on water. But they are on water, but I would put the light grey down. So it would be this colour. That's fantastic. That colour, if I get these 2, 4, like that, and this actual bit here would be where the clones are, and then it's actually water all around them, rather than it, because that's kind of what it is on the thing. If I was to do that, I think I just don't know how much space I'd need for the path. So until these are built, yeah, I don't know. And the other thing I need to check with you right now is the ATT. Will that work in the far corner? The path is still going over in the far corner, like you've just seen. But will it work over there? Because we know it's big, we know it's a base plate. And obviously we would have the front facing forwards. So it's there. Actually, could we get it behind the wing? Oh, we can. Yes, okay, we could do that. So we could have that with some minifigures in front of it, and obviously then we've got the path going around it, and it just looked quite cool to see the legs underneath the wing, because you're going to walk right underneath that wing and you can see that quite clearly. So that takes up a good bit of space, and then obviously we've got that there. But does that go sand? Do we have sand, oh sorry, tan at the back, and do we just have 3 base plates at the front? But you won't. Well, actually, no. You could potentially get away. You could potentially get away with it. There is the other blue base plate. I'll just borrow this one. Do we have, where are you there? That. So we've got a 3 base plate display at the front. with a battle going on. And sand at the back. But I do quite like the fact of splitting these up. I did quite like the fact of having another path down the middle, because that kind of makes sense. I'm not going to, obviously, like I said, these three at the front, I'm not going to tile or do anything with. It's just the ATTE, and I guess I don't need to do anything with that or tile that either, because of the path. So I just need to basically finish the path, and then we've got some really good ideas for either a future upload, or I can carry on with this if I can get the base plates in potentially quick enough. But I would actually like your opinions, to be honest. What I will do is I think I will have to get all of these built, which is what we'll do in this upload, so don't worry, to see how much space they take up with regards to the walkers and things. We have to have his ship on water. But I do quite like the fact that we've got this around it, because it just looks like it's going to be, it could be a completely separate display, and there could be bits and pieces going on here, something there. I mean, if I could be bothered, I could just tile the front of that in water, have his ship on the stand, and we could just recreate that scene from whatever. We can have the famous execution scene just there, and then bring the path down on the inside of this one. But also I can't bring the path down on this. I could bring the path down here. I might do that to remind me. So it would have to be that one, wouldn't it? It'd have to be this one here. That's the one. Ow, 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 ow. That just bent my nail all the way back. Let's get this one out so I can actually get this off. So, yeah, if that was coming round, yeah, it would have to be that one. So, that would then be there, and that would then go there, and it would just come down to whatever colour I guess we decide to do the 501sts on. I think that is the best way we can actually get these done. I reckon that's probably the fairest one, because then we have got a couple of different displays going on. But yeah, it just be interesting to see what you guys and girls think with regards to what colours go here. That's all I need, because that's what that would look like, and obviously we'd have the path coming down, so that would just be by itself. I could have water up at the front. We could have some other bits and pieces just down on this side. We're definitely going to have a fair few minifigures down on obviously the other side as well, so we need quite a few different bits and pieces to actually have a look at, like this for example. That, I think by fluke, and it is, and I mean fluke, that is to the stud the size of that. See, exactly the stud. So I didn't mean to do that, but that I think would look pretty cool, just as one of the first things you see coming in. So we'll either have it that way, or you'd obviously have it that way. And if I had more than one of them, it would look quite smart, because it would be on its way over. But yeah, we could just have that there, for example. And yeah, I just hope all this stuff looks all right on grey. I did go a little bit gung-ho and didn't really think about the diorama aspects of it, but I guess I could tile it up in different colours, or place a base plate over the top of it, or do something. So we have got 2.5 minutes left of this memory card, which means this upload is really, really long. So I massively apologise about that, because I know we're already an hour in and we've got a fair bit still to go. So I think what we're going to have to do, because what time are we now? Late. I'm going to get these bits and pieces built. I think we will carry on with this tomorrow, because I've got quite a lot of editing to do. We have got just enough time to add in a few more yellow tiles, and then it's going to be a case of the laptop. We're going to get a very, very big workout tonight, but I just like the fact that we can just tee off the path like it would feel at Legoland Windsor as you're going around, and then that is the next way that you're going to go. So I think that would just, visually, I think that would look better as a split up, because you can walk down here and see the back of this one, and then obviously that display will be right up to the top. It's just going to be a bit tricky. I don't know whether to have all of this blue. Maybe that's what it needs. Maybe that is the problem. Maybe what we need is, you need all of that in blue. So you just have this little corner as that for the UCS thing. And then you put water and everything down. Obviously, it's not going to be layered like that. It would be done properly. I could try and bodge it a bit, but I think what I'd have to do is put the grey base plate down first, like so. So then they're all level. I know it's white, and then you would just have all your just cut the blues just to fit in that gap. Right, memory card is about to run out. I will catch up with you guys and girls tomorrow. So today is a new day. The second coat of orange is on, and fingers crossed it's dried a lot better than the first, because the first was awful. Now, I have done some bits and pieces while I was just having a chit chat to Mr. J's Toy Collection UK. We have added in the rest of the path. I didn't want to bore you with that, but that has now been wrapped around. I am 2 yellows short at the very, very end, but Jay's idea was to actually block the path off with the grey, which I think is a really nice touch. Now, I was umming and ahhing and having a massive debate with myself with regards to what actually goes at the back, and due to the height of what potentially is going to be the new UCS set, I think actually is going to have to go in the corner, because it is going to be on its own stand, so it won't actually get swallowed. So my worries at the start of this upload going, oh, if it goes in that corner it won't work. So I've pulled this out to be able to put the path round, and what we're going to do now is we're actually going to put the blue base plates down over there, and then that is where those bits and pieces are going to go. So just take these couple of studs off. So we haven't got now too much more to do within this upload. We've got the basics done, which is great. There's some other ships that we can add in at a later date, which is fantastic. But that will basically just overlap like that for now, and I'll just get away with it. So I will make sure it's in and fits properly, but that blue against that path, you get the idea of exactly what it is. I might potentially come around here and then path it that way, so you get a full, like I've done here. So until the that's in, we can't carry on going with the sort of the cuts off the paths, but I've got a few ideas for the paths where we've got this one coming down here. I think we might have 1 or 2 coming off, so it's a little bit closer to the ship. And if I did say, for example, the ship wasn't as drastic as what I thought it was going to be, and we did a path like there and another path there, it means it gives us a bit of a display space in the middle, so we can actually get display spaces with the paths around it with other sets that are going to be coming out. So that is the plan. Now, I have had an idea with regards to putting these base plates down, and I think all of this is just going to go tan. Now, what I will have to do is basically lose these 3 base plates and then put the tan on top. Otherwise, it's just going to be really awkward because obviously it's a half and half. So we will just overlap, basically, it like that, won't we? And then the base plate just comes up, so it'll be level. And then I'll get another. I'll basically, I don't know, figure out what I can do with the tan here. It's going to be an awkward size because of how that path is, but it is what it is. So this will be a full display for this, but I want to put the battle packs, which I showed you yesterday, which I've just done a review on, which are all these things on here. I basically want to get them spread roughly, and then we can figure out exactly what is what. And then once I've built the rest of them up, oh sorry, the other, yeah, there is 1, maybe 2 more to build up, we will know exactly for sizing. So this, I think, is actually just going to stay there. That's basically its home. Now we have got a bike to mess around with. We've got this walker to mess around with. We've got this long, I do believe it's a bark speeder to mess around with. And then we have got a couple of weird looking things as well. Now these are actually quite surprising. These take up quite a bit of space, but I think they look great. So put them, a bit of flex in that knee. So yeah, it takes up a little bit of space. Obviously they're not going to go in. I didn't see a single thing I just did then, did you? So that is what I meant. What I've just put down is that thing. So if I have 2 of those basically side by side, so another one coming off that, and then all of the other little bits and pieces underneath, I think that would make a nice little display. We have got that, so one of those, these cool little, one of those things that are flying around. So if we have a pair of those, and then we'll have these guys down there. So there's three of those, which will look great. Obviously I'm not going to put them in because I can't put them in until the other battle packs are done. And there's another one. So yeah, we can figure out exactly what's going on with that. And then on this side, we've got like a tank thing, which will have to have a minifigure sat down on it. This is quite long. It's over half a base plate in length. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 studs shy of a full length base plate. So these builds are, they're pretty impressive. Now I guess we could have the walker by the ATT walker from the back. We could have that closer to the path like so, because don't forget it's a museum / battle thing. Not going to go for a full 360 walk round with the path because it's just going to eat into too many studs and it's going to cost too much. But when this path comes all the way down to the end, you will then be able to see the bits this way and the bits that way. So that won't be too much of a problem. So we could have a little bike there. Don't forget there'll be loads of minifigures dotted all over the place because we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 minifigures to plonk in on that bit. And then I've got another pack of these that I need to build, and I will probably get another 1 more, and I think that would look quite nice as a display perspective. I'll get the other one built first and just see, but I think it was a bit lopsided otherwise, isn't it? I can only get 1 of these, so I'll get that finished off. So just one of those, and I have started to find some of these minifigures from it as well. So don't forget, this comes with a load of minifigures, so they'll be added into this. This chap goes with that one, so that's okay. And then there'll be another display in that corner as and when that happens. Now obviously if I get another one of these and it doesn't work, it could just go into that corner, for example. So yes, I am happy with what we have achieved, but I am very, very sorry it's taken so long. You get obviously I can't make this display until the correct base plates are down. So when the base plates arrive, it'll be a separate upload for this, and we will just do a Clone Wars battle display. I can get the path in properly, we can bring the path in and then just get it in neat and tidy. So there'll be at least in the 2 battle packs to add, hopefully some other minifigures in there as well. And if there's anything else I can think of find to put in there, it will work. But if I put you there very, very quickly, and we'll just add in how many things are going to be in there, in it. Yeah, it's soon going to take up. It's soon going to take up the space because there's a group of them. They're there. Obviously, you can't see the white on white. This is exactly why I've not done Hoth white. I've done it in orange so we can actually see what is going on. But no, there's a lot of minifigures down there, and once they're spread out and they're going to be battling this, like I said, it's very lopsided at the moment, so we're definitely going to need some more of those. I think we should be okay, and there is more, obviously there is more to come as well. So say for example with the smaller ship, we could just have the path coming up here to cut over, so we have a square and a small ship could just go there. If, for example, this is not as dramatic as what I thought it was going to be. So we have got opportunities basically to make like a pitchfork, and we can just have the paths going up and have the little bits and pieces dotted around like what we've done with that basically. So I could just, if I wanted to, bring the path forward so you could see it in front, and then there could be another one the other side, but that's pointless, so we can just carry on going up and then it would fork off into its own thing. So I think that's okay. We'll have to get some bits and pieces for obviously the balls and get that all together. That's part of this as well. So there's a defense thing. So again, that could just go all the way back here. They could have a shooter, so they can have that facing that way. When you're walking around, you can actually see it, can't you? You can have a minifigure getting set up on that. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun putting all of these in. When the correct color base plates go down, that's just going to be its own completely separate upload. Maybe 20 minutes, half an hour to put all that together, but I think it would look quite nice, and we can just do this sort of section by section as we go. So base plates will be here sooner rather than later, so just keep your eyes peeled for the upload over the next couple of weeks, I would imagine. So hopefully you're going to stick around and enjoy the journey. There's a lot of other bits and pieces that we're going to be doing underneath. There is other bits up at the top, and I just need to figure out what and where they can go. I don't think I've got anything else I can add to the Clone Wars as such. I have got one ship. Where is it? So that's the other pack that I need to build up, and that ship here will go with the, so that will go with that, because obviously that is all water based. It's just part with the clones, isn't it? So that's where obviously he comes in, and there's the whole famous thing with that ship, so that would do the trick. And yes, there's another one of those to build up and do, so I'm looking forward to getting that done. But for now, we've done what we can do. I've run out of yellow as well, so I'm going to have to order a lot of tiles, which is fine. I'm never going to get them from the pub wall, so they're going to have to come from the Lego store. And of course, I'm going to have to order loads and loads of those as well. So lots of different colours. They'll take maybe 2 weeks to arrive as well. So this is going to snowball, hopefully, quite quickly, especially this bit at the front. Then the big ship, when that arrives, then we've got the bit in the corner. Then we've got to figure out exactly what we're going to do with this sort of display. Am I just going to get a load more of these and they're just sort of all stood in front, or is there going to be a little bit of a battle? Because we've got almost a whole base plate just here, where I think it would look quite nice to have a different thing that I haven't got in that corner. Maybe a smaller ship that would go work for scale, and with a couple of other minifigures. So maybe the new Anakin ship with Ahsoka, and that, if that would park in that corner, that could go there, and then those minifigures could just be talking to those. But yeah, you know exactly what I'm going to be trying to get at. So there's lots to do. I've really enjoyed actually putting all this together. I apologise how long it's taken to do, but of course it's a disaster series, so it is what it is. That is going to take forever to dry because it's a second coat, and like I said, it went on horrendously for the first time. It actually rained orange onto the yellow. I was up here all day stopping it from doing it. It must have got so cold overnight. There it is. So that now is going to take a few days to dry, which is going to be a bit of a pain. And then I've got to repaint the top row of yellow bricks, but I'm not going to bore you with doing that all over again. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I hope to catch you next one. Ta-da.